Welcome back everyone. Boy, have I got a good one for you today. This is possibly the world's most iconic, desirable drive in my opinion. May I present to you the Aston Martin DB5 in 1:8 scale. Now before I remove the cover, I'll just let you know a little bit about this model. This is a partwork model. It was collected by myself over 85 issues. It actually took about 100 weeks to collect in total because of supply delays and stuff like that. So close to 2 years to collect the parts to then proceed to build this model. So it's a very detailed model. It has all of the Bond options as featured in the Goldfinger movie from 1964. So without further ado, let's get into it. Well, here it is in all its glory. This is a Aston Martin DB5 1964. This is finished in silver birch, a two-door vehicle. This is arguably one of the most beautiful and timeless designs ever created in an automobile, in my humble opinion. Other vehicles I think that are in the same calibre as this is the Jaguar E-Type and the Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. So let's have a bit of a look through it. Actually, before we do that, I'll just tell you a bit about the build-up itself. This is the book that you receive. This is issue 1. I started collecting this back in 2014, and this vehicle marks the 50th anniversary of the Bond series. So they brought out this 1:8 scale model. So it's basically 85 parts, and you actually receive 86. This is the final issue here. This comes with the iconic Aston Martin car cover that you see here. This has got all the build-up instructions in it. It's quite a thick book, and it goes through in detail how to assemble the model. It also comes with a basically a DVD that you can pop in, and it'll show you how to assemble it, which I found was a little bit easier than referring to the model, to the book. Sorry. So part 1, you get the bulletproof screen, the Aston Martin David Brown badges, and also the radiator grille. And each week you collect a new part. Now I didn't do this through subscription. I did this through my local news agency. So because of that, I didn't get the subscriber sort of benefits that they get, such as a binder and a little clear plastic thing to put all your screws in and stuff like that. I wanted just to support my local news agency, so I just did the whole series through them. Now, this is quite a technical model to put together. In my opinion, it was an absolute pain in the you-know-what, a full-on absolute pain to assemble it. But got there in the end. Another criticism I had with the part work is that you'd think that part 1 would have a certain thing in it, part 2 would attach to it, part 3 would attach to those two, and so on and so forth. But no, throughout the whole 85 weeks, you just get random parts. Like you'll get a wheel one week, and the next week you'll get the front of the vehicle, and then weeks and weeks later you'll come back and you might get the bumper, or you might get the ejector seat roof there or something like that. So it was all over the shop, so you couldn't actually build the vehicle from the ground up as such. You had to wait till you pretty much had everything together to then assemble it. But I sort of took shortcuts. I basically assembled bits and pieces of it and put it all together as a whole unit right towards the end. Now this thing has wiring in it, and it's got some sound effects and light effects and things like that. So we'll pop this. Now once you start the vehicle, you can hear the engine running, so it's idling. That's the engine there. It obviously doesn't actually run, that's just basically a static engine bay picture there. Now, a lot of people at the time, back in 2014, 2015, when they were building this, they did a lot of mods to the engine to make it look more realistic. It looks fairly good how it is, in my opinion, but there was some people that did some hyper detailing on it, and actually came up quite good. But I always like to build the model as it is from production, just to keep it original. So yeah, that's my excuse anyway. Alright, let's have a look inside. Now, because there's a full electrical system through here, a lot of things like your interior lights work. So you've got your dash lights there, and you've got the what's that, the homing beacon page or whatever, or the screen, so they can see where they are around Europe. If you push this again, this is the light switch. Your tail lights illuminate. And your headlights illuminate. Now, if I come back to the tail lights for a second, sorry about that. If you push on the actual brake pedal inside the car, I can reach in there. Push on the brake pedal and the brake lights illuminate. Push on the accelerator pedal. Oops, wrong one. Rev the engine by pushing the accelerator pedal. Now, this actually has steering that works, so you can turn the steering wheel, and the front wheels do move. It's not the most sturdy design I've ever seen, but it still works. I don't really use it that much. I'll just take off the roof panel now, ejector seat roof panel. This is all metal, by the way. Just pop that over there. Inside we get a bit better view of the interior, including the famous ejector seat. Now, you might be thinking, oh, there's no way this car has an actual ejector seat to mimic what they did in the movie, but to my surprise it does. I'm not going to fire the ejector seat because I've disabled it. The actual button on top of the gear stick is actually there. It's a little flip up thing on top of the gear stick, like the actual movie. That is actually a real button, and if you do actually press the button, the ejector seat will fire on this vehicle. But as I said, I've disabled the ejector seat because it was a very finicky construction, and it was basically you just had to look at it the wrong way and the bloody thing would fire. So I didn't want the seat to accidentally fire, shoot up and hit the roof panel. So that's why I disabled it. But you can actually rebuy, if I wanted to, I could rebuy this particular seat edition and then reinstall it and actually have a fully functioning ejector seat. Now on the side here of the door, I can open it. Get your little telephone in there. Under the driver's seat there is the pull-out weapon tray. It's basically impossible to get to, so you'll have to take my word for it, but it's actually there. Got a boot. Pop-up bullet deflecting screen. Put it back down, come on. There you go. These fold down, as they do in the movie. The rear overriders work. And the rotating number plates work as well. So you've got all the number plates as per the movie. So it's true and correct. Alright, I'll just switch these lights off. There's a little button on the dash there you use to switch that off. And I'll just switch off the engine. Coming around to the front, these little light bulbs things come down, and that reveals the machine guns that were in the movie as well. Both sides work. There they are. And as you push it back up, the machine gun retracts, which is pretty cool. Front overriders work, and the front number plate works as well. So the detail on this is quite amazing, to be honest with you. These tyre spikes also work. Tyre shredders, as used in the movie. And they fit back nicely in place. Seat folds forward, access into the rear if you need to. There we go. There's all of the little doodads, that all the Bond gadgets in there, such as your oil and everything else that the car dispersed when it was being chased. This is the what they call the blueprints that this model came with as well. These are 1:1 scale, so exact same scale as this. So technically they're 1:8 scale, but if we open it up, it's a 1:1 scale of the 1:8 scale, if that makes sense. There's 4 parts, or 4 blueprints, and that sort of shows you all the parts and their actual physical size. So this is exactly the same size as the 1:8 model. So that's 1 of 4. Two of 4. Probably put it the right way up, that'd help. Three of 4. So things like your floor pan, the actual chassis there, tyres, wheels, parts of your engine, parts of the engine bay. before. The chassis, exhaust system, doors, door card, rear axle, transmission shaft. So it's all there. It's basically a true 1:8 scale replica of the real car. So these came with the model, as I'm not sure which issues they came with, but over the 85 weeks you get these 4 blueprints. So it's essentially, this is just a one-owner vehicle myself. Purchased it week by week, collected as much as I could through the news agency. So I got the blueprints, got the car cover. These are apparently pretty rare. Not all countries got these that I'm aware of. Yeah, that's it. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.